Hey, what is going on, everybody? Boilon here, and today we're going to be talking all about the orange gear crunch. Yes, that's right. We're not talking about teal. We're talking about orange gear. We're talking about catalysts in particular. We'll make some mention to some particular places where, I don't have as much origin gear as I need, but that's usually for me not been a huge issue. But what has really been an issue is catalysts. For me, particularly a couple of the stat catalysts, SBCs is still a bit of a concern. We're going to take a look at this, why it's a problem, and what can we do, if anything, going forward. Because, man, if you haven't hit this yet, you will soon, I think. So if you're ready to go, then let's boil this down. And I want to start here in the store. So I'm currently having a dilemma, which I think I'll probably do. So I want to start off by, I have, very low orange focus catalyst pieces. I have 544. You can see it here. I'm thinking of buying this for 120k gold. The problem is that obviously gold is still somewhat of a problem. But now I'm asking myself, do I need to spend, should I spend the gold to buy these because I need these? And we're going to take a look at some of the newer characters in terms of how many of these you need in general. Catalysts, some people may have varying degrees of how many catalysts they have of certain parts. For me, it's focus and summon damage. But I'm hugely crunched in focus, and this is not a lot. This is enough for one character at gear 15, and I'm very, very scared about what's going to happen for me in the future. So I'm going to buy this, but I just don't know how many times that I should be having to buy this out of the store with gold. As far as what I'm using with gold more broadly, I don't really, this is probably it, just buying these. I don't buy SBCs. I'm not sure if that's worth the price. I mean, 20 is okay, but I'm kind of getting them a little bit elsewhere. And then I'm buying the tier 17 minis here from this, which I've only seen, this is the first time, honestly, the first time I've seen it. So I'm not using my gold in the supply store very frequently. What I am doing, though, is I am occasionally buying SBCs with Blitz credits, just making sure that I'm cautious about how much I have. I have quite a bit, so that's fine. I can do that. And then I'm using my raid credits to buy, not health catalysts right now. I was before. SBCs, you can get 10 of those per raid store. Focus catalysts and damage catalysts. I need some more of those as well. So now I have 1100. So I used to have a little bit less of this. I'm really crunching on the focus currently, but I know that you can see 1100 damage, 1700 health. But you go through so many of these, and fuck armor, right? Because you have so many of these, and almost nobody ever uses these for their unique part. So don't worry about that. And resistance also tends to be really high, and it's not a priority. It's largely health, focus, and damage for most people. And so what I'd be curious about is to know from you guys, which one you're crunching on. Let me know in the comments down below as well. For the war store, I'm not spending my war credits on them because I don't feel it's very good value. I don't feel that for 1150, for 1900 for what you get. I just think I'd rather spend the raid credits than I would war credits. I think war credits are a little bit more valuable, and I'm obviously not buying them in the Cosmic Crucible store because that's very valuable as well for now T17 minis. And I don't think that the value that you're getting for 2100 for 15, I am crunched on it, but I just don't feel it. And maybe I should be. I don't know. Let me know. Do you guys do that? I don't feel like I should have to do this with my Crucible credits. But hey, maybe I'm just doing it wrong. And so I want to go look at where you get some of these catalysts right. Outside of what we're going to talk about later, a lot of this comes from the orange gear. For some people, still getting some of these orange gear raid orbs. I believe this comes from the Greek raids, or somewhere. And then mostly the orange elite orbs, because that's where we're getting. And we're still getting these in Doom, I'm pretty sure. So, I'm going to open up 40 of these, right? And how many catalysts? So I think you get somewhere around, for people running Doom 2 or Doom 3, and the Greeks 4.3, I believe that you're getting somewhere around 10 or 12 of these a day, something like this. But in 10, you're not going to get that many, and I'll open 40 just to see what I do get as a spread. The origin gear is fine, but we got 14 damage pieces. I'm actually surprised we got this many SBCs. I must have got lucky. 75, 14 damage, 23 health, 26, you know, I think I got really good luck this time around. I don't normally get this much. 26 focus and no resist. No, there's 5 resistance, right? So I think I got really lucky here because as you can see, like you can get as low as 5, you know, per 40 orbs. And so I think I just got really lucky this time, which is kind of funny because I'm making a video about it. And then when you open the orange, the regular orange orbs, you don't get these too frequently anymore unless you're running lower end content. I actually think that they do give you more SBCs though than the other stuff because it's more about the catalyst in these orbs than it is about the gear. So we'll see how many after 40 of these, how many do I get? We got a little bit more SBCs than the orange elite orbs, and the catalysts were a bit more varied as well. Focus, I don't know where they are, 16, yeah, so about 15 to 20 on each of the catalysts, and it's okay, right? But again, you know, it's not very quick for how many you need. It's really crazy. So I want to go over to msf.gg. And I have this open up here. I'm going to share it over here. And this is VIVE Vision. So this is the gear that VIVE Vision requires from, we're going to start from gear 13, 12 to 13. So, you know, these are characters that you are going to have to build. And not specifically just Bionic Avengers, by the way. Like, what they're asking us to do now in the game is they're asking us to gear 3 types of characters, in my opinion. There's going to be the Scourge characters. And that could be nodes 5 and 10, and it could just be more broadly characters that you need to clear the other lanes. And then you have the Apocalypse teams, the Horsemen of Apocalypse teams, which is your Darkhold, which is your Unlimited X-Men, your Gamma, and whatever the Death team is going to be. And then you have your Ray teams, right? Which now is going to be Bionic Avengers, and I know that they cross over for Death. But, you know, these are your upcoming Ray teams that you might not have built yet or whatever that you're going to need this gear for. And so for Catalyst, we're not really getting any larger influx of them than we did before. And I think that's a big problem. So if you look at how many you need for Viv. So 12 to 13 is 60. As you can see in the corner. It's not that bad. 13 to 14 is 150. So again, that brings us up to 210. And then 14 to 15 is another 210. And so that's 420 you need to get to Gear Tier 15. Now, you don't need to take everyone to Gear Tier 15. However, for characters like your Raid teams, for your Apocalypse teams, definitely, you're going to have to, because you need to take them to 16. You know, you're going to need to do this. And so Viv is costing me 420 health catalysts, right? And of course, on top of the... We didn't even talk about the SBCs. There's, I think, something like maybe 2,000 SBCs. Let's go back a little bit. So there's actually none here at 12 to 13. 13 to 14 is only 120, really? This is shocking. And then 14 to 15 is... No way. That's the whole thing? Or is that just one part? No, that's the whole thing? That is absolutely shocking. So it's requiring more catalysts than it is SBCs. Okay, Viv is an anomaly. I think Viv is absolutely an anomaly. You need like 720 from 15 to 16. I think that's an anomaly. But anyways, we're going to take a look at Hulkbuster as well. But going back to... Or not my roster, sorry. Going back to how many, you know, I had, right? So I need 420 for Viv on the Focus Catalyst. I have now almost 600. So I can do Viv. But will I be able to do Hulkbuster? Probably not. I don't know if I'll get them, you know, quick enough in time. And so we have Hulkbuster here. And let's go back to 12 to 13. We'll take a look at the SBCs at the same time. So 60 focus, 60 damage, 120 health, and 120 SBCs is pretty low from 12 to 13. 13 to 14, 300 SBCs, 150 focus catalysts, and then we have 150 damage and 240 health. So we have more health requirements for Hulkbuster. That brings us up to a total, at least for focus anyways, back up to 210, kind of like Viv, and around like 400 and something for SBCs. 14 to 15, 420 SBCs. These are on the lower count because when you look at the Darkhold characters, actually, their SBC requirements are somewhere in the range of like 1,000 to 2,000 for Gear Tier 15 and 16. And then another 210 Focus Catalyst, 330 health, and 210 damage. So, you know, after, you know, doing Hulkbuster, I'm going to be down about 600 health on top of whatever it costs for Viv, and another 420 focus for Hulkbuster, which I don't have, right? I don't have at this moment. And so 15 to 16, if I do decide to do that, again, going to cost only 100... I don't know. Okay, Bionic Avengers is a SBC anomaly. But we do know, if we look at some of the other characters like Strange or Wong, right? Like, or Morgan, you know, for example. I know she takes quite... I know this team takes a lot because I remember complaining about this before. So when you look at like 14 to 15, she takes 1,080. So 14 to 50, 1,080 SBC. So an absolute anomaly for Bionic Avengers for whatever reason. 780 for 13 to 14. So I guess I'm grateful that on the SBC front that they don't require as much, but they do still require a lot of the actual stat catalysts. So that brings me to the point, like, well, what do you do, right? Like, because there's not much you can do to, like, other than spending money, of course, but those offers are fucking horrific. I don't know if there's any good ones in here, really. There's occasionally some SBC ones here, 20 bucks Canadian. I don't know if I'd really spend that either. But there's no really good stat that I've seen, anyways, or maybe I'm blind. I don't think that there's any good stat catalyst ones. I've unlocked Deathlock, of course, so there's some new ones here, like 2,200 for 81. That sounds pretty bad, too. I don't think I've seen any stat catalysts. Oh, there's some teal stat cat. Oh, here we go. 20 bucks for 225. And maybe this is where they're pushing you to go, right? That they're trying to starve us. But the problem is, the difference between now and before is that they're asking us to build so many more characters that we have to build. And I want to be very clear. It's not like you can skip these characters. Most of these characters you can't skip. So we're building characters more and more and more than we ever did in the past, right? Because these are for your Scourge events, like I said, your Apocalypse teams, your Horseman teams, and your Raid teams. Bionic Avengers specifically coming up. Luckily, SBCs is not too bad. So what am I doing with my energy? Well, I'm actually farming. I'm skipping a lot of Chapter 4 now because you get like a Teal Catalyst in here, and I don't really need those right now. I do a couple of these because I think they're quite good. Like this one here, I do Doom 4-5 because I get the Mythic Geodes. But other than that, I actually skip and I go back to like Doom 3 and back. So I'm doing like, I think it's this one here, 3-8, and I'm farming Focus Catalyst every single day as much as I can. It also has Mythic Geodes, which is kind of nice. So some of them have, 2-for-1s in terms of what you get for it. I basically only farm, and this one here for the Damage Catalyst. It has some nice other rewards on it too. But I'm basically sticking to farming I used to do the health ones, but I don't need that as much anymore. I'm only farming Focus and Damage Catalyst Doom nodes, so 3-8, 3-5, I don't know what they all are, to be honest. I used to do that 3-2, and I just basically go back, and this is how I spend my energy, is I do that, and I search out the specific ones I'm looking for. I think there's one here, this one. Like, I'll refresh that, and I'll farm this. And I'll hope for the best. And I got 6. So that's 6 more than I didn't have before. And, if I'm lucky, I can maybe get about, like, I don't know, from farming, like, 10 to 10 plus a day. And it's better than nothing. But it's just not enough. Because, the amount of catalysts we need for a single character is a lot. If I got 10 a day, that would be, like, 300 a month. And one single G15 character requires, like 400 to 500 of these. And that's pretty generous. So where else am I going to get it? Well, there is the orbs, but I'm not really keeping pace with the amount of upgrades that I need to do. And that's the biggest problem. Now, recently that they did add, at least on the SBC front of things, they did add in the new, for those of you who might have seen it, the Save the World milestone streak, the streak thing. They added SBCs into this. I noticed this yesterday, or at least yesterday as of recording this, and now we have a little bit more SBCs. Now, I normally only go up to about 840 energy a day, I think, something like that. So I might get this one and then call it a day. So how many more SBCs are we getting from that if I just get there? 2, 4, 10, 14. So if I can get to this 840 milestone, I'm getting 14 a day, times, so 10 days would be 140, 30 days would be 420. And that's actually a decent increase. It's not, I don't know if it's going to keep pace. Maybe I need to do an SBC calculator of some degree. It's going to be hard because of the RNG on the orbs. But what I do know is that I'm very, very scared for my catalyst. I'm very scared about my orange gear. And I think it's really backwards. Because now I'm not really concerned about my teal gear, because I now that I cleared Dark Dimension 5, for me, I'm not actually upgrading anyone to Gear Tier 16 anymore. But what I am doing is upgrading a ton of characters to Gear Tier 14, and some of them to 15. So I have Deathlock here, who I took up to 15, because I know I'm going to need this for my Bionic Avengers, for the raids. Valkyrie, who is going to be for the Heroes as Guardians for the War event. I have her at 14 currently. I don't even know if I can afford to take her to 15. So I might just take her up in gold, because this is going to cost me another 210 focus pieces here, and then I don't know if this is focus. No, it's health. So I'm safe there. But again, you know, the more I spend to get characters from 14 to 15, there's a big leap in cost from 14 to 15, and I am so scared. My Phantom X, my Sunfire, all at gear tier 12, because I don't want to spend the orange gear and orange catalyst at this stage, because I'm going to run out for the characters that I need. Iron Man stuck at 14. Again, I don't know who to upgrade first, because I'm scared that I'm going to run out. So I'm I guess gonna try and get my characters to 14 to VIVE Vision and Hulkbuster, and then kind of see when they're both out, you know, what do I have left to work with my catalyst. But I'm just like super scared I'm gonna get bankrupt, and then I won't be able to upgrade the characters that I need in time. So let me know what your strategies are. I don't really have one, but I think that we need to be very cautious with very cautious with our resources more than ever before, and I feel that Scopely really needs to let up on these bottlenecks, especially for orange gear. It just feels absolutely backwards that we're having problems with orange gear, but we're not necessarily having huge problems with teal gear. And I know that some people want more teal gear, but actually I want more orange gear, and I feel that that's really sad. So that's the end of the video, and let me know what you think in the comments down below. And of course, until next time, stay safe and healthy, and I'll see you all later. Boilon signing out.